Alright, so this is going to be a very quick, very like impromptu video. I'm just making this really fresh off of beating Chapter 4 and Nightmare Chapter 4. I did it with Begoblox and Rogue and Remy. It was really fun being with them. And I just wanted to talk about Chapter 4 because, as you've probably seen in the title, I need to baby you. It was really cool, but it was also kind of underwhelming. And I feel like I just kind of want to like talk about it because I feel like I want to give some like constructive criticism of what we got and also some praise, because I've seen some people already trying to label this as TDS Lunar Overture Night 3, which that's just delusional. This is not a buggy, terrible mess with broken lore and storytelling. The lore is actually really amazing. I'm going to make a video on it. That's going to go up on the channel very soon. The lore for this event was very good in expanding on the universe, and I will talk about more of the lore later. But on the gameplay side of things, it was kind of a bit underwhelming. I think normal mode is kind of fine as it is. I think normal mode was a good challenge, but also a fair challenge. Nightmare mode, it's honestly kind of sucky. It's kind of just like you have like no money, at least for quad economy. It was really bad. We had to like rewind like twice. Apex, Corrupted Apex Predator, takes 45 minutes to kill. Our playthrough was an hour. 45 minutes of it was spent on Corrupted Apex, and maybe like 5 minutes was spent on the Wretched. The Wretched is like, he's very underwhelming. I'm so sorry. He's like the freaking Draco Bloxer in the TDS event. He is very underwhelming as a boss, and I feel bad saying that because he's been built up so much. All these things that we've seen, but he only has like 2 or 3 attacks. He has 2 phases. His second phase is really cool. I must stress that enough. I cannot stress that enough. His second phase is super cool, but he doesn't have a third phase. And that sounds like a weird thing to complain about at first, but in the trailer, we got that thing where like his mask opens up and you can see like the skull underneath it. That doesn't happen at all in his fight. He just kind of takes off his cowl and he just becomes a snake. We never see his mask thing come off, which that was a little weird. And also, it sounds like his theme. I was listening to it. It has 3 distinct like phases inside of it, but he only has 2 phases, so it just feels very off to me. I don't think the fight was bad. It was just underwhelming. It was kind of a step down. I don't want to say a step down because that sounds rude, but like it did not meet the same expectations as chapters 2 and 3. I think chapter 2 and chapter 3 had some of the best bosses in Roblox Tower Defense history. I think the Vile Engineer, the Dreadnoughts, Corrupted Eradicator MK2, I think those are like actually peak fiction bosses. Vile Engineer especially, I will sing the praises of that master class of boss design with the Vile Engineer there. But it feels like with Apex, they're just like, oh well, big guy with big health, just let him die. And then with the Wretched Spawn, he just kind of does nothing and then he dies, which I don't know. I just find that a little kind of disappointing. I feel like there's a way that they could have gone about this that I think would have been a bit better. Like the GDA base, it has these guns on it. So like, what if we had to like, he was like invulnerable, but you have to like aim the guns at him to like stop him, and then he's like stunned for a minute and he can actually be damaged. I think that would be really cool. Or if he had some attacks that hit the base, so give it a bit more stakes. Another thing, a little bit of a disappointment, but this is more on a lore end, so I can't really call this like an actual critique because I'm not the one writing the story. I feel like Dr. Xenon's absence from this event, it felt very strange to me. We see all these different like areas that we're going to. All of Xenon's stuff is being taken. All of her stuff is being corrupted and taken and used against us, and they're literally insulting her left and right. And she is just nowhere to be found. And I feel like an antagonist such as her would be doing a lot more actively to try and stop whatever's going on. I feel like her presence is kind of missed in this event here. So yeah, I feel like she should have been given something to do. I think it would have been so cool if what I was saying would happen actually happened, where Xenon comes in on night 4 like with an army of like her own stuff to help us, since she also hates the Calamity just like we hate the Calamity, so we would have to do that. There were other lore reveals. I'm not going to say like we're like nothing good came from this chapter. I think the lore reveals were insane. Like I said, it's not a bad chapter, it's just underwhelming. But yeah, hopefully going forward... Oh, one more thing. I feel like the fact that these events just kind of end on a victory screen, it's a little underwhelming. I'm not expecting TDS level like cutscenes and like full on, but I feel like there should be just like some dialogue afterwards, some sort of like thing saying like, hey, you won, you did good here. But seeing just like the victory screen just like right after you do this like really hard thing, like kind of makes me wish for more out of these TDX things. But who knows, it is what it is. I already have everything from the battle pass, and oh yeah, I actually have to bring up one final like thing that I was talking about. I was talking about this with Begoblox and Rogue after we had actually beaten the event here. So I genuinely feel like John needs to stop putting all the towers in the battle pass, because you complete night 4, and if you've already gotten Relic and you've already gotten everything in the pass, there's no real sense of accomplishment. It's just like, oh well, now I get to grind this thing over and over again. I feel like there should have been some sort of special skin for beating all of this, because it is an accomplishment in my opinion to beat all of these chapters, even if it is just once for the first time. But I also feel like Relic especially should have been the reward for beating all 4 chapters. It feels like it's such an event themed tower as opposed to Scarecrow's just generic Halloween and Flame Trooper who's literally just a fire tower. I feel like Relic should have been the reward for beating all 4 knights, whether it be just beating all 4 normal or beating all 4 nightmare. Yes, I know it's strong, and you're like, oh well, I guess a noob, he could just get access to what's it called? He could just get access to a really overpowered tower if he's carried. Well, by that logic, a noob can also get Golden Juggernaut if they do easy mode like 100,000 times. You technically don't have to engage with any other mode ever, and you could theoretically just grind easy mode and get Golden Juggernaut. Like, I don't understand the logic of not putting at least one tower freebie, because it also, not only it adds more of a sense of accomplishment, it adds something like worth waiting for. Yeah, I don't know why they stopped putting towers in just as a normal reward. But yeah, those are just kind of my thoughts early on. Like I said, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I think it was very good. I think overall this event, one of the best in Roblox Tower Defense history after all, overall. I think chapters 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, even chapter 4, they're all very good. They're all very amazing, very high quality. This was very amazing. Thank you for making this, John, and the other developers. But I feel like there's still a lot more ways to go in terms of balancing quality, reward versus what you're doing. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about the subject. Like and subscribe, lore video very soon, and see you guys all next time. Bye.